And that if I was a Mexican dictator under the control of the U.S. banks, the globalist banks, this is exactly the kind of crap I would pull if I was evil. And or are they just opportunistically using this? This is, but I mean, your friend separately just said this.
Yeah, I mean, just out of the blue. I mean, it kind of surprised me, you know. But I guess a lot of people feel like that, but it's under the surface, you know. But a lot of people seem to be really brainwashed, too, from the TV and the radio. It's just 24 hours a day, just, you know, just about the drug dealers and the this and that. They don't really give you any real information.
Why do you think there are so many deaths in Mexico versus not that many, well, no deaths, but there's only 12 confirmed cases right now, versus deaths here?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe just the lack of health, you know, like, people's health is really, you know, bad to start out with. So, and
you're saying in Mexico City, it's, but see, the news reports are it's wealthy people are dying, you know, and you know, there's a lot of healthy people in Mexico, especially the wealthy. I know there's a lot of poor folks who are on the edge of starvation or starving. Was it 35 million total metro, 28 million in Mexico City?
I think that's, yeah, about right. But I mean, the pollution and everything to start out with, and then, you know, just the habits. You know, like, for example, I go to work and everybody shares their food. You know, like, you have to put your food onto a table and everybody grabs it with tortillas and, you know, you shake everybody's hand and you're just really close to everybody. You go into the subway, you're packed in like sardines into the car, you know, so there's no way to really escape.
Yeah, I've only been in Mexico City one time in a layover for like 4 hours, and literally I was outside and there was like black dust that the press reported was human detritus that was dried and blowing, and I literally couldn't breathe. Now, maybe that was a bad day. I mean, how often is it like that in Mexico City?
Pretty much every day. I mean, you wake up and I can look out and I can see across the valley, but then within a few hours you can't see maybe only, you know, a few hundred feet. It's, you know, it's that bad. I mean, you can feel it. When I go, you know, back to the States, my lungs clean out, I cough everything up, and then I come back and then, you know, it's hard to breathe again.
Biggest city in the world. Biggest city in the world. Absolutely amazing. Anything else you want to add from Mexico City? We appreciate you calling. Any other key pieces of data? It says there's troops everywhere, video of that they're locking down different states to the north to block people fleeing. Is that being reported on Mexican TV?
Well, the troops have been here for a long time. I mean, it seems like they've been using them more and more from what I've seen, just, you know, patrolling the streets. And so... Yeah. I
mean, specifically, what are they saying? Because the press is reporting they're locking down Mexico City.
I don't know. I mean, I went to work today and we went to the hospital. I wouldn't say that it's locked down. I mean, there's probably a lot of soldiers around, and I guess if it gets worse, it could, you know, it could go to that. But,
okay.
Definitely tense.
Yeah, we're trying to confirm the reports we've gotten in emails and calls that from Mexico that they're blocking the northern states. What are there, 4 northern states from the central and southern states?
Probably. I don't know. Just all I know is, you know, what's going on right here.
All right. Well, we're praying for everybody down there, but we've got our own problems. It just started spreading here, and it's in San Antonio. It's in suburbs of Austin. It's in Kansas. It's in Canada. It's in New York. So I hope this thing isn't as deadly. Last question. 68 deaths as of this morning. That's what I saw this morning early. And then it stayed at that number, 68 deaths in just like the last day. Now we've got Mexican doctors in the BBC reporting 200-plus deaths. What are you hearing on that front?
As far as I know, it's like about 60. But it's really hard to say because there's really not very good record keeping here, especially in the smaller towns. You know, or someone could just die and not even go to the hospital.
Okay, thank you. You know, absolutely. Well, do me a favor. I'll be live tomorrow, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will go directly to you and anybody else from Mexico City, anybody from San Antonio, anybody. I mean, we just had a caller, you know, who can see the lights of the sports stadium at the suburb of the town in San Antonio that they're shutting down the school. I've got the AP on that. So please call me tomorrow. I'll be giving the number out, and we'll be live 4 to 6 p.m., okay?
All right. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to blitz through calls now. We have another call from Mexico. Okay, Wiley in Mexico. Go ahead. You're on the air, Wiley.
Hi. I think
Welcome.
a lot of this is overblown about this Mexico stuff. Hi. I think a lot of this about this Mexico stuff is overblown. I don't think it's as bad as what everybody's trying to make it out to be.
We hope you're right. Tell us.
We're in the Yucatan.
Okay, so you're down in the southeasterly area there by the Caribbean. So you're about 800 miles away then. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Tell us what's happening.
No, we just got back from Mexico City. So it's not locking down in this area in any case. And
okay.
People seem pretty healthy. The people in Mexico City, they're wearing masks, but everybody you talk to seems to be fine.
Good. That kind of contradicts the last report from a hospital, but you would see sick people at hospital. Okay, how long ago were you in Mexico City?
Yesterday, the day before.
Okay, great. Tell us what you saw.
Yeah. Basically, there's a lot of, like everybody's saying, there's a lot of soldiers out. There's a lot of soldiers in Mexico anyway. So, maybe if they're all in one area more so than they usually are, which would probably be, in the downtown center.
Yeah, I'm her husband. There's soldiers all over Mexico. I mean, if you go down toward the Guatemalan-Mexican border, you'll see Blackwater gringos down there. So, I mean, it just depends on what part you're in. There's soldiers all over.
Sure, I know it's really tough down there by the Guatemalan border. I was just down there. So specifically, the reason we're talking about soldiers is they're saying it's a civil emergency. They're declaring emergency powers. So that's the issue that we're and either way you cut it, I agree with you. They are hyping this. We hope it's just hype. And that there's nothing behind it. And this certainly is a way for the government to grandstand. And a lot of Mexicans are complaining that the Mexican media and the U.S. media are overhyping this. Why do you think that is happening?
I don't know why it's happening, but I agree with everyone else in that respect then, because it is being overhyped. We're not seeing anybody or meeting anybody. And we have other family there that's sick. It's just everybody's wearing stuff for precautions. The pharmacies are selling vitamin C and pushing vitamin C for also precaution, I guess. But people don't seem to be sick. As far as the soldiers go, most of them are friendly. It's the same thing that we see pretty much every day. But I think they're trying to make Mexico look bad in a lot of different ways recently, and I don't know why. Just like the drug things. I mean, we don't have issues with. We're never getting hijacked or carjacked or shot at. We've never seen anything like that here.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add as Americans living in Mexico?
It's safe. Come on down.
Okay. Thank you so much. I envy you down there by the Caribbean. Good scuba diving. Okay. Let's go to Kevin in Canada. Thanks for holding, Kevin. You're on the air.
Hello there, Alex.
Hi.
Yeah, here in North Bay, we got a bunch of Mexican exchange students, and they were when I would come back from the college, they'd always be on the transit bus, and I got to know a couple of them. So I went and asked them, and I went and talked with a couple of them earlier today, and I know they hang out here in North Bay, and they're telling me that they were getting ready to go back to Mexico next month after their school year is done here. But a couple of them were telling me that their parents have been telling them to stay in Canada a little bit longer. I don't know why, but that's what they were telling me. I speak Spanish, by the way. So that's
yeah, well, I mean, we just heard how great things are, and I know in areas of Yucatan, that's the kind of the resort area. It's nice. They were telling us that Mexico City was kind of great, but no, I mean, things are deteriorating, and there are a lot of folks dead, and the issue is flu killed 40 million people in 1918, and it killed a couple million more in an outbreak a few decades later. And then we have governments hyping it, the very governments that stage terror attacks and are eugenicists, and Dr. Pianka in biology departments, and I run into others that are involved in weapons labs who are part of the eugenics movement, who are celebrating and waiting for airborne Ebola, kind of the 12 Monkeys crew. And so that's why we're watching this and looking at this. And I'm in Texas, and they're shutting schools down south of me and got people locked up in their houses that have this. And if folks start dying from this bird flu, in the United States or Canada, and it's in Canada, as you know, or in Kansas, we got a problem because that means it's been spread by design. Again, 95% of the time or more, because it mutates if it naturally spreads from body to body, because there's so many different mutations happening as the virus replicates.
Well, and these kids that are here in North Bay, these are rich kids that are here in North Bay. Their parents are cops, lawyers, perhaps even drug dealers also. So when they got the rich parents telling their kids to stay up here in Canada, I think there may be something down there that may be a lot worse than what that lady was telling us. Because again, she's in Yucatan, so that means that she's.
Look, I was in. I'm agreeing with you. I was in Yucatan, which is one of the better places in Mexico, 3 months ago, in January. So 3 months ago, it was bad.
You're listening to GCN, the world leader in independent talk radio.